What's up, good people? So the last few videos, I've been already in the bed. I have not had the energy to do any bedtime stories while getting ready for bed, but I got time today. This is Bedtime Stories, Grown-Up Edition, like mother, like daughter, part 8. Now, when we left off, Angela and Regina got the ball rolling on Angela's new faceless brand in Denver. And Marcus got a pep talk from his big sister, Marcia, after letting Jessica know that he was going to be a father to his children and nothing more. And Q was spotted for the second time at the church by himself. Well, things have been relatively quiet on the home front. Angela's life has been moving in the direction, I won't say the right direction or the wrong direction, because she's still doing her therapy and going to her doctor's appointments, and when Regina's available, she's flying in to make sure that Angela has the support that she needs. On an occasion or two, Q has actually gone with her to her doctor's appointments when Regina wasn't available to fly into town. Her sister Steph's been keeping her up to date on what's going on with her mom and her health. Steph's been keeping Miss Cheryl, Miss Brenda updated about what's going on with Angela as much as possible. Bernie's been handling the business. Marcus has signed off on the blowout sale and it's in motion. And the next steps are for Marcus to send a letter to Angela requesting that they provide severance to all of the staff and let them go. And he's going to send that paperwork to the address that is on the separation paperwork. Several months have passed since we have heard from any of our favorite fools, and Marcus and Jessica are meeting up at Jessica's doctor's appointment. She is now 16 weeks pregnant. She's actually 8 weeks behind Angela. Jessica is so anxious to find out if she's having a boy so that she can not only have Marcus's first child, but she can also have his first son. Jessica asked the tech if she's able to tell the gender of the baby, and the tech tells her that it's a little too early to tell with the type of ultrasound machine that they're using, that she would have to wait to 20 weeks, or she would have to see a maternal fetal specialist. And since her pregnancy isn't high risk, there isn't any need for her to have a full anatomy scan with a maternal fetal specialist at this point in her pregnancy. Jessica is disappointed, but she's willing to wait 4 more weeks for that 20-week appointment. Marcus asked the tech if they can find out the gender while also doing a DNA test via amniocentesis or some other method, and Jessica about loses it. But because she's all about appearances, she maintains her composure in front of the tech, and she says she wouldn't know. That's something that we would need to discuss with the doctor. And that's probably something we needed to discuss first, because I don't know how I feel about having a needle stuck into my belly. The tech says that's correct. That would be something that you would arrange with your physician. But there are other ways to do those same tests, so you can actually find out the gender via blood tests as well as do the DNA test in utero. Jessica gives the tech the death stare and looks like she wants to rip her head off and eat it for dinner. The tech leaves the room so that Jessica can change her clothes, and Jessica looks at Marcus and says, "Would you ask Angela for a DNA test?" Marcus said, "I wouldn't have to because we were doing in vitro." Jessica said, "You know what I mean. If that Marcus says, "Watch your mouth, Jessica." Jessica says, "If your wife would have been able to get spontaneously pregnant and actually carry a baby to term, would you have actually fixed your mouth to ask her for a DNA test?" Marcus said, "No, but my wife doesn't have her coworker parking outside her mother's house when I go to pick up my daughter." Jessica looks at Marcus almost in shock and says, "What? What are you talking about?" Marcus says, "Bruce. I've seen Bruce parked down the street from your mother's house a number of times. He thought I didn't see him, but I did. He's also questioned me more than once about the nature of my relationship with you. You might want to tighten up." Jessica says, "First of all, there is nothing going on with me and Bruce. There will be no reason for me to ever have him come to my mother's house." Marcus says, "I didn't suggest that you had him come to your mother's house. You got him wide open, and so he's showing up at your mother's house, trying to see what you got going on." Jessica says, I have no idea what you're talking about. Is this something that I need to have a conversation with Bruce about? Because it sounds like he might be stalking me. I knew that he had a little infatuation with me, but there's absolutely nothing going on with me and Bruce. Marcus says, well, I wouldn't be surprised. You sleep with your sister's husband. What would stop you from sleeping with somebody else's? Jessica says, oh, you're judging me now. But sir, if I recall, you had absolutely no problem cheating on your wonderful wife. You had no problem making a baby with another woman. And here we are, working on our second. Marcus says, that's a low blow. I absolutely had a problem with it. It was eating me up at night. It was causing me a whole lot of sleepless nights. It's literally been the demise of my life. Are you kidding me? Jessica says, well, you know, in most states, it's not too late for a deleted fetus. Marcus says, and you know, I don't believe in that. I'd rather take care of my child and take my chances with my wife. Jessica says, well, you have no reason to question my loyalty because you are the one who has a loyalty issue. And stop bringing up this sister thing because I've told you more than one time, I did not know that Angela was my sister. How would I have known? At that exact moment, Marcus gets a phone call from a number he doesn't recognize. So he goes ahead and answers it, and lo and behold, it's Miss Diane, the nurse at Miss Cheryl's assisted living facility. Miss Diane tells Marcus that Miss Cheryl wants to see him as soon as possible. Marcus says that he's at an appointment, but he has to go into the office and he'll swing by later on that evening. Miss Diane lets Marcus know that Miss Cheryl is more like herself during the daytime because there's this thing called sundown syndrome. And once the sun goes down, people with dementia start to get further and further from their present reality. Marcus says, no problem. I will be there as soon as possible. Marcus goes ahead and calls work and lets them know that he's going to be a little longer than he anticipated. Marcus heads to the door and Jessica stops him and says, aren't you going to wait so that I can make my next appointment? And he says, oh yeah, I'm sorry. And she was like, what was that about? And he was like, don't worry about it. They go to the front. She checks out, schedules her next appointment. He puts it in his calendar. They both rush out to their cars and he heads to go and visit Miss Cheryl. Little does Marcus know, he got a whole caravan following behind him. Jessica's following him because she wants to know what it is that he got going on after that phone call. Wesley's following Jessica because, again, he's assigned to follow her at all times. Delani, the new PI who was assigned to Marcus after they came back from Aruba, is still following him. And all four of them are going down the road to go and see Miss Cheryl. So Jessica and Marcus pull up at the assisted living facility. Jessica hangs back. She sees Marcus go inside, and she's racking her brain trying to figure out who he could possibly be going here to see. She starts driving around the facility to see if she can see inside, trying to figure out if there's a way that she could possibly go inside and see where he's going. And as she pulls around the back, she sees Marcus rolling an elderly lady out into the back garden. And lo and behold, she recognizes her. It's Miss Cheryl. Jessica starts losing it in the car. She's hollering, she's screaming. She can't believe that this witch is even still alive. She's concerned about what it is that this woman could possibly be telling Marcus about her mother. She's wondering if this woman knows where Angela is. And so now she writes down the address and the name of the facility, and she starts devising a plan to figure out how she can get inside and find out what Miss Cheryl knows.